Hey guys, welcome to another video on Bharat and Germany. My name is Bharat, and in this video, I have Arjun, and he is going to tell me about how it is to study veterinarian studies in Germany. I mean, like, this is crazy because most of the students they come for engineering, they come for commerce, business administration, and so on. But we also have this. So, tell us a bit about yourself, and then we jump into your study questions.
So I am Arjun Sani. I am from Gurugram, Haryana, India. And I straight away, like after my 12th class, I came to Germany. And from the beginning only, like I had love for animals and I liked animals because my grandpa, like he was also a big animal lover. And so since the beginning, I was like born and brought up like that only. The studies in Germany are free, but also the only thing which stopped me from coming to Germany was like the language,
Mhm,
because bachelor's it's only in German.
mhm.
Like you do anything, and many counselors say that you can do it in English, but like it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
bachelor's part is like when you say like you can do it in English, like it's for even for engineering studies or something, it's like 4 courses in English. Like,
yeah.
and the competition is massive. Like, so that's why I think like for bachelors, I don't think people should even like come with the idea that yeah, like we can do it in English. Like if you want to do bachelor's in Germany, like it's most probably in German.
And also like it doesn't make sense, because if you want to work here and if you want to like pursue higher studies, you'll need German at some point of time.
Hmm.
Because the people here, like most of them, they don't know English.
Yeah.
And also the customers that you'll receive or the patients that you'll receive, they won't talk to you in English, they'll talk to you in German only.
Yeah. Yeah.
You cannot like take a translator with you or like do something like that.
And I think like it's also this almost stigma that like if the doctor of course like doesn't understand German or something, like does he understand my problem, should I even go to him,
Yeah.
should I trust him or
Yeah.
something? And so tell me where you're living, how did you come, like what was the process, like student colleague and stuff you must have gone through, and uh, tell us a bit more about those things.
Okay, so first of all, like I did my A1 language from India only.
Hmm.
I didn't go to Goethe because like the seats are really less and like they take 3 or 4 months for each course. So I did it from a private like language school or something in India, and it helped me a little bit, but like it wasn't useful because I wasn't able to converse with anyone. Like nobody was there to talk with me in German. So after that, like I came to Germany via a counseling agent, and like he took 1 lakh or 1.5 lakh from
Hmm.
me. And the only thing he did was like searched on Google, as you have also said in many of your videos. And I also like when I came to Germany, I came to know like it's nothing. Like I just need to go online and search, and then yeah. So I got robbed first for 1.5 lakhs. After
But
that, I
I
came
think
to
like
know that.
the thing is also Arjun, like when you're living in like the NCR region or like any of the bigger like metropolitan cities, then you have easy access to these people, right? So you can just directly go and you can like talk to them and you feel better because like somebody who has like maybe a bit more idea than you. And I think like for many people like who are coming from smaller cities, so at that time I lived in Kurukshetra. I mean, like it's not the biggest city, and then I did my studies in Murtal, Sonipat, again like not so big, and no language institutes or something nearby. So like for me there was that incentive that like because there's nobody around, I have to figure things out a bit on my own, and like that's why I could like go into that direction. But I think like in a bigger city, of course, like you land up in these places. Mm.
Yeah, yeah, that's also true. But like I had 1 or 2 people, like some relative of my teacher, he was already doing masters in like medicine.
Mm-hmm.
So like I got some information, but like I didn't have a direct access, because like now there are many students that are willing to study bachelors in Germany,
Mm-hmm.
but mostly like people do the bachelors in the home country and then come for masters to Germany.
Yeah, yeah. And how did the
So
process for you look like? Then you did your A1 and then afterwards you came for
yeah.
a student. I mean, must have gotten a conditional
Mm.
admit letter from a university, then the student colleague.
Yeah, I got a conditional admit letter from I think Hamburg,
Mm-hmm.
and from that like I got my visa, and then I came to Berlin. I also got myself registered in a language school, Eurasia, if you know, in
Mm-hmm.
Berlin.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did there my language till C1, and after that I didn't give test stuff because like I had to do student colleague, and like the requirement was like B2 language, but like I paid for C1, so I was like let's go with it. If I pass the exam, then well and good. And if I don't, then also like it won't harm me.
Mm-hmm.
So it took me around like I came in December 2018, and like it took me 6 or 7 months to do from A2 to C1 in
Mm-hmm.
Berlin. And after that, I applied for like student colleagues, like for the Aufnahmeprüfung, and like I for student colleague, like it doesn't matter if you want to study veterinary or like any courses, because like even if you get into the public student colleague, then like the M course is for all the medical courses. Like you can do uh, microbiology, medicine, like many courses are there.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's also a myth, like if you do student colleague from public or from private, you'll get some advantage.
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
there's nothing like
There's
that.
nothing.
there's
Yeah.
there's there's nothing like that, because many of my like friends, they couldn't get into public and they did it from private. So like they are also studying medicine in Hanover or like something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just the university doesn't see if you have done it from a public or private. But
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just that I saved 6,000 euros,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a big deal.
Yeah. And which
So
student colleague did you study in?
I studied in student colleague like in Harlem, MLU, Martin Luther University.
All of that went through. You wrote your FSP exam. Like, how was the exam? What kind of subjects like do you generally have to like study there?
So usually, like if you are studying M course, you have your normal biology, physics, chemistry, and in Germany you also have to do maths. So like in the beginning when I was in India, I thought like okay, 11th and 12th I'll take biology, I'll take medical, and I'll get rid of maths. But
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't work. Like eventually I had to do maths, and it wasn't that tough,
Mm-hmm.
because like in medical courses, like the terminology, like the words and all, the technical words, they are all derived from Latin or Greek. And FSP was good, it wasn't as hard. Like my biology professor, like he was a bit strict, so I couldn't do well throughout the colleague. But like in the FSP I did well, and I also had a Munlish biology program. So yeah, it turned out pretty well. It turned out pretty well. And then at the end I had, I think, including my 12th class scores and my student colleague scores, I had a final score was 1.6 or something.
Mm-hmm.
For
Okay, that's
veterinary,
nice.
it's no. For veterinary, it's not that good.
Really?
But like, yeah, for veterinary, even for veterinary, you need minimum of 1.4 or 1.3. I also gave test hours, and from that I got an increase of zero point 0.2. So at the end I got like 1.4 only. My sum was 1.4. I got invitation from Leipzig University and from Gießen.
Mm-hmm.
For veterinary in Germany, like there are only 5 universities. One is Berlin, in Gießen, in Hanover, in Leipzig, and München and Munich. Yeah, and the seats are also not that much. In Leipzig, you only have 140 seats, but in other universities there are like students 200 or even 300. In Gießen, I've heard that there are 300 students.
Once you do this course, like, would you be able to like open your own practice, or like how does it work? Like, what's the end goal here?
End goal is like the course is total of 11 semesters, 5.5 years. Like you can do an internship or something, because you need experience to open. You cannot go straight away and open your own praxis. It doesn't work like that. And many German students, what they do is like they do a 3 years of Ausbildung before they get into the university. So they have contacts, and like it helps them. But to be honest, I have no idea what I'll do after 5.5 years, because it's a big journey. I'll start my second year in October.
Mhm.
So it has just been 2 semesters, and yeah, till now I passed all the exams. Thankful for that. And also recently I did we have to do a practicum, Landwirtschaftspracticum. It's like there's a farm of the university only. It belongs to the university. It's in Oberholz, and there I had to do 2 weeks of practicum. It was like it's just as the human medicine people do at the hospital, we also need to do like with animals. So it was like there we had cows, sheep, and also pigs.
Arjun, the M course that you were talking about in Student Colleague. So, like the students who want to do MBBS, like they also have to go through the M course, like as far as I understand, or is there some other way?
No, they have to do the M course also.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the same. If you want to do anything in the medical
Mm-hmm.
region, you'll have to go through M course.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
But like for the courses, like there are biotechnology course, you need T course also.
Mm-hmm.
Because there you need knowledge of, I think, physics, and the maths that we learn in M course and the maths that the people in T course learn, it's a bit different.
Mm-hmm.
So with biotechnology, it's a bit tricky. I don't have any knowledge about that thing.
Okay.
But for MBBS and for veterinary, it's pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm.
Even the test asks, like what you give after the student colleague, that's also the same for MBBS and for veterinary.
Okay, that's interesting. Nice. Now let's talk a bit about your fees and stuff and your living expenses. Like, how does that look like?
Now or like since the beginning, because I have moved a lot.
Yeah. I mean, like I would talk about the university part. I think
Okay.
essentially.
Okay. So here currently I'm living in a student in Wohnheim. So my my rent is 210 euros or something,
Mm-hmm.
and it's pretty good. Like because Leipzig is not that big city as Berlin, so the rents are not that high, and everything is nearby. Only like my faculty, it's only 15 minutes by tram. Other expenses, the major expenses are only rent and the insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm insured by Teka, and it's around 106 or 107 euros.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And after that, like other is like 100 euros for food or something, and 20-30 euros if you like go for party or go to a bar or something like that.
How has been the curriculum so far, Arjun? Like, is it something like more difficult than what you have seen previously? Like, were you expecting this level of difficulty, or is it too bad? And also, like, how are the evaluations done? Right. So, like, are they just like let's say written exams, practicals, whatsoever? So, like, just some insights there.
I don't know. I find it pretty easy till now. Like it hasn't been that difficult. Many of my friends they say like it's too difficult because many people go through stuff like pretty intensely. But in the university you cannot learn anything. It's not like school, like you'll go through the books and you learn the chapters and it'll be over. You just need to understand the mindset of the teachers and the professors, what they need from you. Because eventually you'll have to learn everything. Like there's no curriculum or something, like there is, but like for medicine you need to know everything. It's not that you can leave something, but it's just like you have to take it step by step. So like in first semester I had normal physics, chemistry, botany and zoology. So like I just did what the professors told us to do, and I just went through the lectures. And the main thing is like you need to finish the lectures as soon as they are uploaded. Because of COVID, like everything was online, so many students were like, okay, we have time till the exam, we can do it later on. And so that way like the things keep on adding up, and then if you don't study then you will fail. It's as simple as that. It's not so easy, but see, in India, like what we do in India,
Yeah.
I'll say like the first year of university can match that. Because in India it's like bam bam bam, we have to do everything. And like if we fail it's like, oh, what have you done, how can you fail? But
Yeah.
in the university it's like you will fail some exams, you will have to repeat, and it's not a big deal. Like the mindset, you also have to change the mindset. Because many students, like foreign students, especially from India, they are like, oh, I have to pass the exams, otherwise what will my parents say, what will my relatives say? But like just go on your own pace, and it'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be okay. Till now it has been okay. I don't know about the future. I just take it semester by semester. Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's pretty nice. Now, Arjun, do you have some like tips or something for students who are also thinking about studying veterinary studies in Germany?
First thing is you'll have to like be comfortable with being around animals and like trying to understand them. It's not that if you don't love, it's not that if you didn't get a place in human medicine, you'll study veterinary medicine. But many students do that. Like there's a friend of mine, he didn't get a place in human medicine, so he decided that he'll do veterinary medicine. They both are pretty different branches. You cannot mix them. Like in human medicine, you just have to learn about humans, but in veterinary there are so many like different animals, and they all have different anatomy, physiology. Like it's a whole new level. So yeah, don't take it as an alternative. If you really have a passion for veterinary medicine for animals, then only go for it, because it's not like you'll get huge amount of money or like huge amount of salary after you complete the course
Mm-hmm.
as it is in human medicine.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the main thing is like passion for animals, I would say.
Yeah,
and
makes sense.
also and also don't get into the trap like when people say that it's not easy. You just have to work hard and then it's easy for you.
Mm.
And nothing is in English. The people even if they know English, they'll not speak with English.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like this is a very standard thing that you will find in Germany. I have to tell you, like also in Denmark, for example, right now, whenever we ask somebody a question, like even though many times they would know English, they would not want to speak in English. They would like shift to Danish first, and then you say like, no, I really don't understand it, and then be like, okay, yeah, then we can speak in English. So that's definitely a important thing for sure.
Yeah,
Perfect.
and
Hmm?
also like I would suggest, if you have the possible, like if you have the financial condition, then it's better to learn German in Germany than to do German course in India and then come to Germany. Because
Mm.
in India, no matter how good your professors are, how good the teachers are, until you converse, until you get that like Sprachgefühl, like that feeling, inner feeling that you can speak, you'll not. Because it's even sometimes like I know how the sentences are formed, I know the grammatics, and like I know everything, but until I converse with someone, I cannot say like I'm perfect.
Yeah.
So you need the practical knowledge. The theoretical knowledge you'll find even on internet. That's not a big deal.
People don't understand that once you come to Germany, like you actually become very busy. Like you have just so many things going on. You think, okay, like this is my day and I will be able to do a few things. But like as soon as you do three things in a day, like the day is essentially already gone. You can do three big things. And that is essentially how I've also like started designing my days now. Like I used to have a calendar, like, and like with every 5 minutes planned and stuff like that. That's like not really feasible when you're working on some vague projects or bigger projects. You need to have three very solid things that you want to be working on. And then let's say if you have an appointment, let's say half an hour, like this is not an issue, right? Because you have just a fixed half an hour and like you will be talking to somebody, and then like you work on your own things. But if you have to design your own timetable, I think it's very important that you like kind of have some major slots, and you learn these things when you come to Germany, when you know that you have appointments and you have to reach there at 9, but you always reach 5 minutes before, so that like you don't miss out on things.
Yeah, I also joined like the meeting at around
Yeah.
1:55. I thought
Yes.
like I am late.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then I was like, okay. And
No,
like
that's
one
actually a
more,
very good practice.
yeah. Sometimes even the Germans are late, but I'm like, I have to be punctual. I cannot
Yeah.
be late. Because
Actually,
then
I
they'll say you are late.
that's true. I mean, like I had this like phobia for a while that like I have to be 5 minutes early. I cannot be late or I cannot be on time. Alina would calculate the distance exactly. Okay, like from for walking from home to the U-Bahn station, it will take us like 6 or 7 minutes, and then she will leave exactly like 8 minutes or something before, and I'm like here freaking out because I'm like, okay, what if we get late and we miss the train or something? So I think like you get used to this stuff, that like you kind of like time your yeah, travels and everything, like like this. But in the starting, yes, it's better if you're like 5 minutes early so that you get used to the entire thing, and then you can manage it later on.
You need to make contacts. Like you cannot be like, I'll just sit alone, I'll be in the library, I'll go through the books and it'll be over. That would be like pretty difficult.
Mm.
So the more friends you have, it's not like you need to know all the people. You cannot do that. Not in university. In school, it's possible, but not in university. It's
Hmm.
like you need a group of like 5 or 6 people whom you can trust, and like whom you know that they'll support you when you need. And it's not only for the university thing, for the studies, but also the like the general, the daily life also. You cannot spend you cannot spend all the time at home.
It's like it's very easy to like come to a new country and like not interact with anybody because it's just like very uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable. I mean, like there is no other way to put it, right? Because
Yeah.
even if you want to make a sentence, you want to like express a particular thing, it is not your mother tongue that you'll be able to do it like, just fine. So all of these things take a lot of hit and trial, but that's what I say, like, if you grind yourself nicely like in the younger years, then like your like older years would be like pretty nice when you actually go into your career, and like, when you're working in different kind of companies and stuff, the competencies that you will build by having so much exposure right now, that will be like really unmatched. So that's, I think, a very, very good tip, Arjun. So I think like with this I would like to wrap up. And guys, anybody who's watching this video and you know somebody who wants to do something in vet studies, share this video. Thank you so much, Arjun, for taking out the time, and I'll see you around. Bye.